Hey guys, Kevin here, aka the Patriot Punk. Guys, tonight I was reminded why I fell in love with President Trump. You know, I haven't agreed with him on the gun issue. I don't agree with him on a lot of issues, but there's something about Trump that has me enamored, and that is his ability to troll the left. He throws the bait out and they take it every time, and it is such a wonderful sight to see. They go so over the top with their responses to what he says. And he does this intentionally, and it's just incredible. And tonight at a steelworkers rally, he called Maxine Waters, as I like to call her, Mad Maxine, or Black and Obscene Waters. He called her low IQ. And it's so true. He said, "Have you ever seen her?" Talking about impeachment. "She's a low IQ individual. You cannot help it." So that's what Trump had to say about Maxine Waters, and he is absolutely right. She is as dumb as a box of rocks. But she's not alone. This is what happens with these Democrat congressmen who have districts that are drawn up around poverty lines. They do this on purpose. You know, they have these inner city Democrats who can't even register themselves to vote. I mean, the Democratic Party spends millions of dollars each year trying to register people to vote who either don't speak English, have nothing invested in this country, or who are just too stupid to fill out a voter registration card on their own. Look, they're too stupid to get an ID card, and the Democrats freely admit this. So what do you expect? This is another reason why democracy sucks, why we should have some sort of standard before people can vote, either a poll test or property ownership of some sort, something to show that you are either working or have some investment in this country before you can go out and vote. I mean, otherwise, look what we end up with. And I'm going to give you guys some examples of just how dumb Maxine Waters is. And then I'm going to talk about why this trolling attempt by Trump is so important. Because it is. And there's going to be some consequences from this, and it's going to be awesome to watch. So, how stupid is Maxine Waters? Well, she is a telephone operator who went to school for sociology and then became an activist before running for Congress. Now, look, sociology is about the easiest degree to get in college, especially if you're a leftist. When I was in sociology classes, the professors would give you extra credit to go to all kinds of different social justice rallies. You know, it's all about socialism and Marxist theory. As far as Maxine Waters, though, what really sets her apart is her basic inability to understand basic government functions. I mean, there's some things this woman has said over the years about the role of government that would just shock you. But I'm just going to focus on what she said in the past few months. So on top of being stupid, Maxine Waters is pretty racist, but I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on the stupid stuff she has said recently, because otherwise this video would last forever. So on North Korea and Trump, Maxine Waters said, "If North Korea nukes us, my greatest fear is that Trump will start a war." So that's right, guys. If North Korea nukes us, then she's afraid Trump will start a war. On crime, homicide is the leading cause of murders in the U.S. That's right, homicide is causing murders. On the recent Women's March in Washington, she said, "I have to march for women because my mother couldn't have an abortion." Sort of self-defeating, isn't it? On the Tea Party, this is a moment of clarity from Maxine Waters. The Tea Party can go to hell. This liberal is taking over government, and we're going to socialize, we're going to run your companies. So there she caught herself telling the truth, and she realized how bad it sounded, so she tried to walk it back by saying the exact same thing. I mean, socializing is taking over your companies. In fact, that sounds even worse, if you ask me. On the Rodney King riots, she said, "These riots were acceptable and understandable behavior. People act like these people were just going in the street and acting crazy." That is by definition a riot, by the way. On sequestration, this is a great one. 170 million American jobs will be lost. Well, that would be horrible if there were 170 million jobs in America. There aren't. There are about 130 million jobs, and government does not create nearly 100 million jobs. And finally, as far as opposition to Sharia law, She said that opposition to Sharia law is bigoted and Sharia law is protected by our Constitution. So, a genius, guys. What else can I say about that? Trump is absolutely right about her being low IQ, but he didn't just say this to state the obvious. Trump is smarter than that. Right now, we are seeing a time where censorship is run amok online, and people are getting censored for talking about left-wing politicians like Maxine Waters. People are getting censored for talking about IQ and race. People are getting censored for calling out the anti-gun kids and the propaganda in the media. So Trump was able to sum everything up that people have been getting censored for online and say it in one statement on national television. And this is great because it pushes the Overton window to the right. It also expresses what many people have been trying to say for a very long time and being shut down for saying. And it really triggers the left-wing media into a frenzy around this. And they will try to call him a racist. They will try to call him, a sexist, a misogynist. In fact, Maxine Waters already called Trump a racist for a previous comment where he called her less than smart. So, we can tell what the response will be. But the fact is that they can't censor Trump when he goes out and says things like this. And so it's a victory for free speech. So the best thing about this isn't that Trump was able to troll the mainstream media, the liars and hypocrites, that's great. It wasn't that he was able to push the Overton window to the right. That's important. It was not that he was able to empower so many people and show people not to be afraid to go and speak up on these issues. That's also very important. But the most important thing about this comment by Trump is that he is bringing attention to one of his fiercest critics. And that attention will expose just how corrupt she is. Just how corrupt is Maxine Waters? Well, to start, she lives outside of her district, which isn't corrupt by itself, but she lives in a mansion worth millions of dollars in one of the wealthiest parts of California. Now, you're probably thinking she's a congresswoman, she makes lots of money. Well, not really. She makes about $200,000 a year, which is a lot of money for Texas or Ohio, but not for rich areas in California. I mean, her property tax alone is tens of thousands of dollars each year. So on top of her mansion and her home in Washington, D.C., Maxine Waters, from several different reports, is shown to have made millions of dollars in investments. Now, one of the reports I found showed that she had invested over $30 million just in real estate alone. Why is this important? Well, one, if you're a congresswoman and you know a company's going public and you have information from the SEC or from the Defense Department, you know that a weapon's going to be built or something like that, insider trading is not a problem if you're a corrupt congressperson. On top of that, real estate is another way that corrupt politicians can get rich quick. If you're a congresswoman from California and you know that a certain area of your district is about to be rezoned or that a new development is coming to town, you will go buy the land around that development and capitalize on it. So I really hope Trump's statement will force the media to put a spotlight on Maxine Waters, and doing so expose her stupidity and by proxy her corruption. Because it's about time, guys. People are suffering because of Maxine Waters' stupidity and corruption. The people in her district are some of the worst off in the United States. These people live hand to mouth, and they have so for decades now because of her. And this is something you see with a lot of these Democrats who run these inner city districts. People there are suffering. People are worse off for voting Democrat for several decades. And it's about time things change, guys. Omar Navarro is running to replace Maxine Waters, and I think Trump just gave him a big boost. We'll see. Anyway, guys, go check out my main channel. It is InfoWars Stop the Purge. I changed it from Marxism the New Age to stand in solidarity with InfoWars and stop this YouTube banning crap. InfoWars Stop the Purge. My alt channel is Patriot Punk. And you can check me out on the Liberty Network. That is Mr. Dapperton's Liberty Network. It is an awesome channel. It's got all kinds of different creators on there. You guys should go subscribe to all 3. You can also follow me on Facebook at Kevin Cormier. I'll see you guys later.